Hey everybody, welcome back to our latest Netflix review for How It Ends or Doesn't End. This is Ian here along with Chris.
Hey, okay, so, alright, this is going to be spoilers, and if you're a fan of this movie, you better put on a cup, because this is not going to go well for your perspective. How it ends. Let me talk just a little bit about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a story about, let's see, what are their names? Tom is Forest Whitaker's character.
Right.
Isn't it? Yeah,
right.
Tom and what's the other guy's name?
Will,
that's right, Will. Tom and Will. Will is traveling to see his at least girlfriend, maybe fiance.
Right.
Going to see her parents,
mm-hmm.
who are in Chicago. He's going to visit them to, I believe the intention was to ask for his permission to marry their daughter, who
to get the blessing.
Yeah, get the blessing. But Tom doesn't like Will.
No.
And
No.
That actually was not too bad. But anyways, while he's gone, some event happens, some apocalyptic event happens, and the story is about Tom and Will trying to reach Sam,
right,
the girlfriend / daughter, and the things that they run across on this travel.
Right.
This movie is horrible. This movie's horrible. That's my summary of it. What's your summary?
Oh, it doesn't deviate too far. You know what? And look, I want to delve into some of the reasons why.
We're not done with the review. That's not it.
No, of course. Look, I'm of the same mind here. That there's just so much for this that just really quickly went downhill. And overall one that I really didn't enjoy. The idea of a Netflix-based post-apocalyptic film. I said, okay, cool. Especially
and they do a lot of post-apocalyptic and dystopian future stuff.
They do.
This is kind of Netflix's wheelhouse.
It's their thing. I think the hook for me though was that it's loosely established. You don't know what the it is. Now that could be a good or bad thing depending how a movie turns out. Having that being a loose perspective, we were talking about this beforehand. The last time I remember the cause of the disaster being sort of loose but explained later was in Viggo Mortensen's The Road. And you had a lot of hints that there was something geological that happened, and then sure enough, you actually get it fleshed out later that there's an issue with trees that ended up snowballing into a lot of other things. But the point is, you get that established. You know by the end of that movie what happened in this world to cause this kind of situation these characters now live in, and they got to maneuver through.
Right.
And I would think that that's part of the glue that holds movies like this together. And when you lose that. Oh.
In my opinion, and tell me how you feel about this, there's three main things going on in this movie. There is the journey to get to Sam.
Yep.
Which we get completion of.
Right.
We get that. But what makes that challenging is what's going on in the world, or at least in the country.
Yep.
Which there is no resolution. There's none. There's nothing. Yeah, I mean, things are so vague, which is okay as long as there's a payoff. In fact, I would almost compliment them on hiding it as well as they did if there was a payoff at the end where it's like, oh my God, and that all makes sense because this is what's happening.
Right.
But there's not that. You get absolutely nothing. There is no reference to what is going on.
No.
And then the other part, the third aspect of this story is that Sam is safe.
Right.
There's a lot to play. I mean, the whole point of it is to protect this person that they love.
Right. Right.
And there is zero resolution to that. All you get is which at one point and through half of this movie is an interesting adventure of a diplomat, a warrior, and an engineer on this journey through this world, which in its premise is actually a lot of fun and fun to watch. But once Forest Whitaker's character dies, And again, I told you spoilers, so too bad if you didn't catch that. This movie completely derails.
Yeah.
And why does he die?
Even that's pretty nondescript, isn't it?
I mean, we're going to be all over the place here. So he dies, and then they don't, and you're still not even sure if he's dead.
Right.
And then he continues to drive for so many hours with the dead guy in his car.
Yep.
What?
I thought, I know when that
was he gonna like finally get to Sam like, here's your dad? What?
I was just waiting to do the burial. Sorry. Oh man.
God.
No, it's look. And he eventually, what was it? He if I recall in that scene where he parts ways, he finally puts the blanket over him.
Yeah.
And leaves. Yeah, that's right.
And then sets it on fire.
Right. Okay. But yeah, when I first saw that, I thought it was something to do like with his heart.
Well, no. So yeah, you have to guess.
You do,
because you can't even tell. It happens from the first night that they're traveling, and he breaks some ribs. He obviously has some amount of internal bleeding. His lungs are filling up with blood when he starts coughing it out, and they have to do that. What do you call it when they stick the thing in the chest and he can breathe? I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But like, so he kind of. So what finally kills him is that he shoots his gun a few times and stretches his arm out the window of a car, and then he gives out one gasping breath and then dead.
Right.
What? It's just now. Sorry, I'm very frustrated with that one. I was very frustrated with how they handled Ricky. Ricky was great. Ricky was a great third wheel in this whole situation.
Yeah.
And then completely disappears. Now, at the time when they do that, I'm actually, oh, that sucks. Maybe we'll see Ricky down the road, though, and she will join some savage Mad Max group or something. Because this,
right.
By the way, apparently civilization is extremely fragile, and I'm sure we'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But she just disappears. She takes her stuff. She disappears, and I'm actually okay if we don't ever get resolution to it, because this movie is working things in kind of in a way of, well, they're on this journey, and what happens is happening. We're not going to follow all these side stories and all these other things, because what's important is following this journey.
Right.
Which isn't important at all, by the way. But we're told it is. But it's not. It's not. There's nothing's important here.
No.
That's why I think there's so many people are pissed about this.
Yeah.
I mean, the reaction to this, I'd say about every 30 or so people on social media who are just steaming about this, there's like, I thought it was all right. And no, but like people are pissed, because that's the whole thing, is that typically these apocalyptic movies, these disaster movies, you hinge on what little hope there is.
Right.
In what little hope that they're trying to, you got to do this. This is the mission. You got to do this. Got to do that. But then when you take that away, it's like, well, what was I doing here?
Oh man.
That's what happens here.
It is.
This movie, I'm just gonna say, this movie literally ends with Will and Sam in the car trying to chase away from a giant smoky cloud of whatever the hell's on the other side of that cloud, because we never find.
We don't know.
And he literally, he looks at it and he says, "No matter what happens, we'll be just fine." And I'm watching that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, dude, I only remember you with one gas mask.
Yeah.
And you got a big cloud coming your way, and you got an issue. But apparently I shouldn't be giving it that much thought.
No, but you're thinking too hard, Chris.
I guess. Just remembering the basics of what's happening in the film. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
now you go.
It's what happens. I think when you go off the rails from your concept. I want to back up to some of the things that established well, but before you completely fall off those rails. There's at least a decent enough sense of tension and foreboding. The idea of a major disaster in a major city. Of course, the setting in Chicago made me smile. It's one of my favorite cities. Period. Being a Midwesterner for so long myself. And then you have the contentious relationship between Will and Tom. Tom immediately takes to taking digs at Will. His professional career, him as a man, his ability to support his daughter, all of it, and really eggs him on and dares him to go further. They do a good
job of this.
They do.
Forrest Whitaker does especially at the beginning when he shows up at their apartment and he won't even, he just says hi to him, won't even look at him, won't even really greet him. He's like, you're not going to bother me from sitting here and drinking. Yeah. He tells him to go see his wife, and then his wife tells him to go see him. You are so not wanted here, and they do a good job of that.
They do.
They establish some good. There's some good foundation here, which definitely I think hooks the audience.
It does.
Ultimate reason why you're so pissed because I mean it would have even been one thing if they died or something. But it's just. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, dude. I'm with you. It's okay because I'm about to jump off the rails too. No, and that's the good thing. I think having your apocalyptic situation and then sort of having at least a minor build as to how characters interact, that immediately sets up some tension for all right. If they end up in some kind of disaster, look, they can't even deal with each other normally. How are they going to be able to come together in an actual disaster scenario? And sure enough. That comes right up, literally as of the next morning. And
Will steps up.
Yeah, he does. He steps up. He ends up making his way back from the airport, coming back to Tom's place, and going with him, agreeing to travel with them on this cross country journey to get Sam. And there's I've never driven complete cross country. I've had drives, from. For example, like Georgia to Tennessee or like Illinois down, stuff like that. I mean, 7-8 hour, but never coast to coast or, Midwest all the way over to coast and stuff like that. So again, that's another good premise that, you've got a lot of good things working here, but just even from the smallest excursion out of Chicago, just first getting out of town, you already see how badly society's fallen apart. Mm-hmm. And it's like, good Lord. I think you said it well, Chris. Please don't take us a day or so without our smartphones. Oh Lord.
Yeah, the world went to shit by the end of the night. You have hillbillies taking over cop cars, pulling people over.
Yeah,
shooting at it. I mean, it's day one.
The lawlessness and things like that to come. Like, all right, let's face it. In a disaster. Other people could potentially be one of the most dangerous things you encounter, but even still, that's not something you expect to happen in a day or instantly overnight. You have to have more driving that desperation, and in a film like this too, especially with not knowing what the disaster is, taking your best guess at maybe something ecological, maybe some kind of tectonic disaster, I don't know, and not seeing signs of whatever happened out west reach the Midwest yet. It really sets a weird precedent for, okay, wait, why is everyone going so nuts? Still, It's like, calm down. You can still go to, I know there's a lot of traffic. You can still go to the grocery store. You might not have power. You can still, you got backup generators. You still got all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to go Mad Max and start cannibalizing just because the chicken that was stuck in the freezer de-thawed and you weren't ready to eat it. It's...
Oh man, so that kind of struck me immediately. I'm like, I mean, I understand, people can be asses in situations like this, but like that, no. But
I think it would be one thing if there was more of an understanding as to what's going on in the world,
right?
If there was some kind of sign that this was the end times. Then then I can understand people going apeshit day one.
Exactly.
If they know, okay, this is it. It's the world's over, and there is no God, and all right, it's every man for himself. Then I could understand it, but that's the whole premise, is that you don't know what's going on. There's no revelations here.
No.
There's some weird storms, and something happened out on the West Coast, and that's all that you know.
Yeah.
So the society would not crumble, after one meal. it wouldn't start to fall apart.
And this is really where the story works against itself, and really starts to spin its own wheels in the mud and dig down. And bear in mind that this isn't the problem with this is you don't just have a scene like this that's flashed ahead of you. This is it becomes a rinse and repeat very quick. Right off the gate, coming out of Chicago, you have a sort of a group. It's like I guess a young. I can't really call them teens, but just a whole gang of young people that are basically.
Oh, you're talking about after those 2 car crashes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't really know what that's about, though.
You don't. I mean, if anything, you don't have any. You don't have anything on them. And there's really nothing beforehand to establish
but
that.
Everyone's already like, oh my god, they're gonna kill us.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's rinse and repeat. Right after that, you pointed out earlier, you got the issue with the random guy that apparently got a cop out of his car, is driving around the cop cruiser.
Mm-hmm.
Just mugging people at will and things like that, and just event after event after event. This stuff just continuously happens and occurs. So, with just very loose footing, very loose basing, and little to, once you are engaged and once you do invest initially, when you sit down and watch this, there's no ROI. You don't get any kind of constant return on that to keep you invested. Again, one of the only hopes is, okay, they're suspending it this long. We'll find out what the thing is after 2 hours, right? Maybe. No.
What do you think was going on? What do you think happened?
I mean, obviously,
I can't tell.
You want to know, honestly, my best guess, volcanic activity.
Okay, I've seen a couple theories on that as well.
Yeah.
I can't really tell. Especially when he got to Seattle and it was so destroyed.
Exactly.
But there's no, destruction like that having happened not even a week ago. That would be inhabitable. He would have died walking in. If it was like a nuclear bomb or something.
Right.
He would have been dead going in there. There would have been so much radiation. And even if that had happened months ago and him walking out of there, he's, wearing a gas mask, he would have died of radiation poisoning, leaving that area eventually.
Yeah.
So, but there's nothing like that. It's just like this, there's like this huge crater.
Right. And see, that's made it extra weird. I guess what sort of sold me over was you have this kind of ashen appearance.
Yeah.
To the landscape, and then with the kind of fiery, earthquakes and things like that, I'm like, it looks like some kind of really bad tectonic shift or some crazy, volcanic incident happened here, and it ended up screwing up the atmosphere, but that's why you have this look. So
I guess I would lean towards that as well. All the more reason why, if there was like a big volcano that erupted on the West Coast, Chicago really doesn't have much to worry about.
Yeah, not off the bat, no.
And why is all the power going out?
Right. That's the thing too. Actually, which would lend itself again to why I think going right along with volcanic activity and the whole tectonic issue, I think they'd be linked. Anytime you have a shifting of plates like that in a movement, that's going to cause, it's like a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess one thing that I think that really could have worked, you had this huge incident out west that echoes, deeper inland. And then eventually you have that whole shift that's happening that ends up hitting the Midwest and the rest of the place. Not as violently as it hit out west, but still, hey, move there, so it's got to move here. So
you know what I think? I don't think they knew what the hell was going on.
No,
I don't think they knew. This movie was all premise, no delivery.
Right.
And I don't think they knew what was going on. There was a couple decent moments, like the moment when they reach their friend's town and you see them all barricading the town and protecting. That was kind of cool. I can believe that. Not on day 3, but I can see that. I can see a small town banding together and protecting itself.
Sure.
and that was kind of neat. The acting in this was fair. It was fine. The cast is fine.
It is.
What the hell is Forrest Whitaker doing in this thing now?
It's so random seeing somebody with his chops.
Now that I've seen him, and now that I've seen this, it's like, what are you doing in here? It's like the biggest thing I walk away from. What are you doing?
Coming away from this film, my biggest rewards for seeing this, I thought, was Forrest Whitaker and Nicole Ari Parker. That's it. It's the best things about this movie. It's literally the best thing I can have to say about it. There's so little redeeming quality to to have a cool concept or like idea kind of out there, but then just keep it in the cloud and really yank any form of cool detailing or cool ways to flesh out the rest of that and leave it. So oh well.
So here's the thing. This is my base conundrum at this point. So the movie's called How It Ends. Do you think that people knew? I mean, did they know over at Netflix the jab that is, the irony? Somebody had to have known.
Someone did, man. Come on. Well, the funniest thing about creating an irony like that, and of course someone had to know about that, is saying how something ends, but then you don't explain how it ends. They don't even know how it ends. The main characters don't even know how it ends. So the world doesn't know how it ends. They don't even know how it. Look, no one even knows how it started. If you're not going to explain how it ends from a
this is just a thing.
Yeah, like
there's not even a story here. I know we've said it like that. This is just a thing. Here's some stuff.
Yeah.
I can watch that on YouTube. You can watch random events of things on YouTube that are more interesting than this, and they're real.
Right.
Well, maybe most of them.
And I guess it's sort of a baffling thing when even the simplest of explanations are just running into someone from the scientific community who might have an idea to kind of hint at this directly. Look, you don't have to delve into the geological the coordinates and detailed theories about radiation movement, or you don't need that. If you're able to relay that concept in layman's terms and really get across the point of your film, awesome. But no, at the end of the day, we don't know how it starts, how it ends, or where's anything going. So that's that.
Yep. All right. You had made a comment before we started recording about how you didn't want me to try to get you into doing Netflix movies. Honestly, I mean, they've come out with some really good movies. Cargo was great this year. There was another one that was supposed to come out this year, but it has been pushed back to next year. That Scorsese movie with De Niro. That's going to be really good. There's going to be more, I'm sure, too. But after giving that some thought off and on throughout the day here, man, this is a step back. For Netflix. This is very disappointing. For what is it? Something like $400 million they're spending on original content this year.
That's the thing. They've upped their budget for it. And look, hey, I want to put this on the table. You're right. One thing I said is specifically it will be harder for me to bring up the hype factor for movies. You know what? It would be hasty of me to bar Netflix, period. I won't do that right now. I'm not going to say you will never be able to get me to watch another Netflix movie again, because I'm sure I will. But it will be harder to hype me for said movie. I'll watch. I will gladly look at what's out there, but man, this is just such a gut shot. I was actually really looking forward to this one. So
they've been promoting this. They're still promoting it. That's what I was astonished about. They're still promoting it. This thing is coming off like a big smelly turd, and they're still promoting the shit out of this thing. All right, that's some balls right there.
Oh man,
we stand by it. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that? Even the half second of Kate Graham's side boob is not enough to save this movie.
Not enough. Not even close.
That was a nice moment, but it's I'm trying. I'm reaching for anything here. At the end of the day, the premise of this movie completely falls flat by its execution.
Right.
And so I execute it. I'm rating that. I'm rating it 1 out of 10 apocalyptic garbage movies.
Right.
I give it a 2.
I'm there too. Literally 2 out of 10. That's where I sit. And like I said, 2 of those points are for Nicole Ari and Forrest Whitaker. That's all I got.
And I actually started thinking in the last couple of weeks, God, it's been a decent to good year for movies. Maybe we're not going to end up with a really, really bad. No. Couldn't even really finish the thought. I was like, we made some good selections this year. We're not like last year. We had a couple really stinkers last year, especially Alien.
Yeah, that was a letdown.
But this is far worse.
Yeah. No, that makes that a step up. So,
yeah.
Shoot.
All right. Well, there it is. At least we didn't have to pay for this.
No.
At least there's that. It was not Netflix. I paid for Luke Cage.
See,
I didn't pay for this.
There you go. I think that's the best part about Netflix, that you can justify anything. It's like, oh, had a show or something you didn't like. It's all right. I saw Voltron. What's up?
Yeah. Oh, that's all Voltron. Yeah. I need another shot of Voltron after this movie. Bring me season 20 stat.
Do I need to hook you up with 50 cc's of quintessence?
Jeez, something.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? Rail on it with us or rail at us if we're wrong.
Yeah.
Give us comments below. Seriously, we would love to hear what you guys thought about this movie. What stunk the most for you? There's a lot to choose from. It's kind of amazing. I'll say this real quick because, and I think I alluded to this, at least from my opinion, I alluded to this a little bit before. The ending of this movie really just made the whole thing shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing how it pulled that off, because everything, everything rode on the ending not being that.
Yes. Yes, it did.
It's kind of amazing. If this movie does anything, it kind of opens my eyes a little bit to the importance of that execution of an ending.
Yes,
because this was somebody else needed to learn that before they backed them up with millions of dollars on a film too. I can't. How did somebody think that? Did they test? Did they even give this a test audience?
I don't know, man.
They couldn't have.
Oh boy!
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah,
you earned your 2.
Yeah. I think this will probably be our bomb for the year.
Oh God! Well, if it's not, I doubt anything's gonna beat it. I don't know.
It's gonna be tough. It'd be tough to go lower, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, it is what it is. But hey, like I said, look, I'm a little harder to hype, but I will still tune in to Netflix and check out other releases and films. So Chris, don't sweat it. If you got something you want to recommend to me, throw it at me, man.
Go see Cargo, or not go see it. Go watch Cargo.
Okay.
Yeah. If you haven't yet, we did a review on it about a month back. Good movie.
Cool.
If you ever had the question of how do zombies go together with a honey glaze, Cargo will tell you.
What the heck? All right. You're on just on that. So.
All right, yeah. Let us know how you feel. If you liked our review, go ahead and please like and subscribe. And that's going to do it for us. Get this one out of my life.
All right on. Hey, take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, there anything to go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it's great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.